Right, we're going to create a program that brings up a message box with a message "Hello World." Use a new module to complete this task. Copy the code into the text box. So what this means is that we've got to go to Excel and use the VBA in Excel to create a message that says "Hello World." We've got to use a new module, so we will not be using forms, we'll be using a new module to complete this task. We then copy and paste the code into this box here. So let's have a look at how we can go about this. Starting with Excel, we go to Excel and we press Alt F11. This gives us the Visual Basic Editor. We now need to insert a module. Not a class module, not a user module. We need to go to a module. And one of the things that I tend to do is use option explicit. Now this is really important to use. So if we go to options, we should be able to have a look through here. It says auto syntax check. Make sure that that is clicked. Require variable declaration. That's really important. Require variable declaration. Auto list members, auto quick info, auto data tips, auto indent. Drag and drop, default and procedure. Make sure that that is all clicked on. So every one of those is on. Let's press OK. Then you should see, when you go into it again, option explicit. If not, just write option explicit. So we're going to declare. So what do we have to do? We actually have to go create a program that brings up a message box that says that has the message "Hello World." So the best way to do this is to actually declare a variable. But first we need to actually create a sub procedure. So we go sub, so that's sub procedure, press a space, very important to press a space, and we're going to call this message exercise 1. And when we press enter, it immediately puts this here and an end sub. Let's give ourselves some space, so press a few enters in there and go back up. The first thing we should do always is declare variables. Now we need a variable for the message. So dim MESAG 1 as, in this case it's actually string, and string means that it's text, so we're going to declare the message 1, declare message 1 or dim message 1 as string. Then we want message 1 to equal "Hello World", so we go MESAG message 1 equals, inverted commas, "Hello World". And now we need a message box that will actually display "Hello World". We could go like this. Message box, open brackets, message 1, inverted commas, close that. So what has this done? It's actually declared a variable. We need to declare a variable. And then message 1, which is the variable, message 1 is equal to "Hello World", and then we message box message 1. If I run it, it immediately comes up with "Hello World". I could do this a slightly different way. So I'll go down below the end sub. Let's just clean this up a little bit. See where it says end sub? I'm going to go down below end sub and I'm going to write sub message exercise 1, and I'm going to call this B because it is slightly different. And I could do it without declaring a variable. I could actually write MSG open brackets, inverted commas, "Hello World". And this will do exactly the same thing. Run it, hello world. The problem is, of course, that you need to learn to declare variables, and you need to learn to use use variables inside a message box. And so I need you to do it both ways. So here's one, so you can do it quickly, and that is a very quick way of doing it. But this is a much better, from a programming point of view, way of doing it, because this will actually be useful to us later on. So if I select that whole text, press Ctrl C, and I go back into my OneNote, I can click in the text box here, and I can press Ctrl V. And what it does is it actually shows the text of that particular. Create a program that shows an input box with the question, input your name. Use the same module as the task above, but create a new sub called Message Exercise 2. I'm just going to copy that. Let's have a look inside here. I'm going to create a new sub called SUB Message Exercise 2. So now I need to create a variable again. So what am I doing? I'm creating a program that uses an input box with the question, please input your name. So instead of doing a variable at this point, I'm going to say input box, inverted commas, please input your name. And if I run that, it'll actually say please put in your name, and you can put your name in there and press OK, and it runs back to there. But this statement here is useless without declaring a variable later on from a programming point of view. So if I go in here and I declare a variable, dim your name as string, and then I write your name equals input box, that actually becomes a useful program, because then I can use the information from your name. So if I run that, it just says please enter your name. If I press OK, it finishes the program. So at the moment there's nothing down here, but having your name equals input box is much better than just having the input box.